Hello and welcome to another episode of Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie and I'm your host for today's show. So, a bit more of a jam-packed sort of episode today as match week 14 has pretty much, will be taking place from tomorrow. So, in the space of 48 hours, we've got another match week coming up. So, what I'll do during this episode, I'll speak about the top games that took place over the weekend and then preview the upcoming matches on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as part of match week 14. And I'll also give you my predictions. So we can crack on with the first game, which is, of course, our beloved Liverpool. So my thoughts on the game. Well, another fantastic win. What can I say? Guess we just like to do things in fours nowadays. Last week, 4-0 against Arsenal and 4-0 again against Southampton. So another great win. For me, some really stand-up performances from our individuals in the team. So Robbo back in the team looks fantastic in terms of his defensive ability, but also in his attacking play where he was able to provide an assist for the first game. Trent Alexander as well providing an assist. So our fullbacks back to sort of their normal form, which is fantastic to see. Konate was introduced in this game. For me, had a bit of a shaky start. Could have done a bit better in certain situations where I feel like he was pressing a bit too high in terms of the defensive line and was finding it difficult to track back, or to say in a different shape or form that the attackers were able to sort of break him down in the other side of the wing. So that comes from playing with the team, more experience. But at this stage, he's still learning the way we play because, we play with a high line. So it's not something that's probably normal to him at this stage. Who else has been great? Fabinho was fantastic. He's been, I would probably say, one of the top performers in the last few weeks for Liverpool. Made some crucial tackles, crunching tackles throughout the game. So really, really impressed with his play. Thiago Alcantara, if you watch my previous episodes, you should know that I'm his biggest fan. Have been for a long time since his Barca days. Looking slowly back to his best. I think he had a slow first half as well, but he slowly got back into it. I feel like he's just a player that needs to play consecutively to get back into that rhythm. But 2 goals in 2 weeks, so a good little icing on top of the cake there for him this week. But to be honest, Mane and Salah were fantastic as well. Just to think about individual performances, I think Jota would probably get more of the headlines because he scored 2 of the goals. But Salah was fantastic. Mane was pressing really well. For me, Mane is slowly getting back to his best now, which I'm so pleased to see. There's been so many doubters about him. Some people have written him off. I certainly wasn't one of them. So I'm just happy to see him back to playing to his best. And Salah, fantastic. He might not have scored in the last 2-3 games, which is probably a dry spell for him. But proves to show that he's a team player, provided a great assist during this game, but just really worked really hard for the team. We've got a lot of world-class players here, but they don't shy away from doing any of the defensive duties or any of the pressing elements from the front. So, no, fantastic performance from Liverpool there. Like I mentioned, Jota scored 2 goals, so he's opened the scoreline with a great cross from Robbo. And then Salah produced the right-footed cross for him there as well. Thiago, nice piece of skill to get the shot in as well. Obviously got a huge deflection, but nevertheless still went in. So great way for him to capitalize. And Virgil van Dijk managed to get on the score sheet with a very nice composed finish from a corner. So this places Liverpool third in the league. But for me, it's fantastic form in terms of recent weeks, especially after that defeat against West Ham, where for me it was just a bit of just one of those off days, I guess. We just didn't play to our best, and West Ham just capitalized and really did well in terms of their game plan. So I think we're pretty much getting back to our best, scoring a number of goals, but more importantly, we're not conceding that many either. So that's definitely key there. In terms of Southampton, always going to be a difficult fixture, especially as an away game for the team there. against Liverpool. Focus will be their next game, which is on Wednesday against Leicester City, which won't be easy as Leicester have just come back from a great win against Watford over the weekend with a 4-2 victory. So, yeah, it certainly won't be easy for them there. Got a comment here from Madison Smith. So, what is more attainable for Liverpool this season, winning Champions League or the Premier League? Oh, good question. I think it's pretty even, to be fair, because I feel like in the Champions League, we're very strong right now because we've basically made the group of death look like a walk in the park. I feel like we are probably one of the strong favourites for the Champions League. And for the Premier League as well, you can't put us down in terms of not giving us... I think for a lot of people, Chelsea were the favourites due to the recruitment that they did over the summer. And obviously the signing of Lukaku was a big, big deal for them there. Some thought Manchester United were in that same boat due to their great recruitment in signing Sancho, Varane, and Ronaldo, who's been a bit of a heated debate with Roy Keane, Jamie Carragher, and Rio Ferdinand in the last 24 hours there. But we'll leave it at that for that discussion. But it's 50-50 for me. I feel I'm very confident in terms of our Premier League campaign. I do feel like we will challenge for the league, and I've definitely put us favourites there. I think the only thing for Liverpool is, and touch wood, it doesn't happen, but injuries. Injuries is the one where if we lose our injuries to some of our top players, it could hindrance our sort of progress going forward. But even the players that have come from the bench have done well at the same time. So I don't know. I'm a bit on the fence on this one. If you were to ask me which one I'd choose, I'd want to go for the Premier League. That's the bread and butter for us Premier League fans there. So, but I think both are attainable in regards to your question. I don't think it's far-fetched for us to even go for both trophies. Probably in a stronger position than we have been in the last couple of years, because I think the season we won the Premier League, the focus was to win that league. And Champions League kind of became secondary, whereas now I feel like we've gained such great experience in playing Champions League football by, being in the final and then also winning the following year. And we've had the experience of winning a league title. We're very well equipped to challenge for both. So I'll probably say both. But we'll see how it goes for Liverpool going forward. And on to the next game, Chelsea against Manchester United. So I'll be honest with you, a bit of a surprise result for me. I really thought Chelsea were going to, in nicer terms, I thought they were going to thrash Manchester United due to the current status of the squad right now, the uncertainty. Well, not now, because it's been confirmed that Ralph Rangnick will be the new Manchester United interim manager for the remainder of the season. So I know they had a good performance against Villarreal, but I just thought there might have been a bit of unrest in the squad. And I think with Chelsea, they have been showing some really good form over the last few weeks. So a surprising result, as I mentioned earlier on. But Manchester United came away with a great point, and I feel like they deserved it as well, to be honest with you. Chelsea started the game really well. Callum Hudson-Odoi had a great chance earlier on. Great save by De Gea, it's pretty much his trademark, where he manages to save his feet. So great save there from a tight angle. Rudiger as well hits the crossbar. So unlucky not to score there. But it was Jadon Sancho who opened the scoreline. Mistake by Jorginho where the ball was cleared from a set piece and it was lofted quite high. And he tried to control it, but unfortunately it was like the worst touch he could have produced. And Sancho was able to capitalize and run through on goal. I felt like he was trying to pass it to Rashford, but because of his uncertainty in terms of his movement, it kind of put Mendy off the sort of off the ball a little bit as well. So he swayed a little bit to one side. So that gave Sancho the opportunity to just slide it into the other corner. So smart finish from Sancho there. Really happy to see him back into the team, because under Ole, he wasn't given a fair chance, in my opinion. Signing a player for that fee as well, you expected him to at least have some game time or opportunities to play. And for me, I've been a fan of Jadon Sancho for a long time, so there's no surprise in terms of what he offers on the pitch and the quality that he brings to the United team. So great to see him playing for United, and actually, that's 2 goals in 2 games for him since the sacking of Ole. So yeah, Carrick's got that one right in regards to that team selection there. Chelsea were able to get a penalty, a poor tackle by Wan-Bissaka on Thiago Silva, and Jorginho more or less makes up for his mistake with a calmly converted penalty. Fred also had a chance later on in the game after Mendy's misplaced pass, but Fred tries to execute a chip, and for me, probably one of the worst efforts I've seen from a professional player trying to score a chip. It was just awful. It probably came to Mendy's waist height in terms of receiving the ball. So, yeah, I don't think Fred would want to see any replays of that anytime soon. And Rudiger was so close to scoring late on. With a great opportunity where he wasn't really marked, but he just sort of lost a bit of composure and just blasted it over the bar. Probably a half chance considering the defender, but I feel like if you work the keeper, you never know, he might have scored. So overall, good point for Manchester United, I think. Dropped points for Chelsea, considering Liverpool and Man City won. I've just got a comment here. Madison Smith, you can't count West Ham out, but do you think the winner of the Arsenal United game is the favourite for the final top 4 spot? Last week you asked me the question about top 4, and I said Arsenal would be my favourite at this stage in terms of how they've played. So I'd go for Arsenal as 4th spot. United, for me, haven't really shown much under Ole, but obviously things will change with the new appointment of Ralph Rangnick now. So that's the intriguing part in terms of that appointment. How United change in terms of their style of play. Are they able to do it where the philosophy sinks in with the players straight away? Intriguing times for United fans and also the Premier League. So I think regarding this fixture, which I'll speak about in more detail later on, I feel like Arsenal will have the edge considering they've been in great form. Obviously, they lost to Liverpool 4-0. But prior to that, Arsenal have been winning consecutively. They're not conceding much as well. For me, they've pretty much got a very solid team where everyone knows their job and there's no sort of uncertainty in terms of what they need to do as a team. So West Ham as well, they will be up there in my opinion. It's going to be such a difficult way to actually call out who will be in the top 4. But you've got so many teams challenging. You've got West Ham as well. Like you mentioned, you've got Arsenal, you've got United. Tottenham aren't far out. I know they're not in the best of forms, don't get me wrong, after that poor loss in the Europa Conference League the other day. But you've got Leicester City as well. So you've got a number of teams that are worthy to challenge for that 4th spot. But out of the teams that I mentioned, I would probably favour Arsenal at this stage, to be honest with you. So, yeah, interesting. I think also with the Christmas fixtures coming up as well, that will be a determining factor in terms of how the teams do and who will actually be superior, because you've got AFCON coming in January as well. So there will be some players that aren't available for teams like Liverpool, for example. So that will have an impact in their team. Plus, obviously, Arsenal have Partey as well. So, yeah, it will be interesting. But at this stage, I'll probably just give it to Arsenal regarding that final top 4 spot there. So on to the next game, Man City versus West Ham. So speaking of West Ham, so a tough game, always going to be a tough game. I mentioned that in the previous show last week as well, because West Ham for me have been fantastic this season, one of the probably standout performing teams overall. So the game itself, to be fair, let's point out tough weather conditions as well. Snowing non-stop, so probably wasn't easy for the players. They're not used to sort of playing in the snow, I guess. But Gundogan was the one to open the scoreline. Nice finish from the 6-yard box. He's really clever with those sort of finishes. Manages to get in those right positions at the right time and manages to get the finish in between 2 players there. So fantastic goal there. City had quite a few chances overall, to be fair. Mahrez hit the post, which I think was probably the closest chance for City there. Jesus as well. Some heroic defending from Cresswell, who pretty much slid onto the post, hitting his back, which must have been painful to say the least. But Jesus was the one to provide an assist for Fernandinho, who came on as a sub, and he finished very calmly, placing the ball in the bottom of the net. And Lanzini scored probably one of the best goals of the week with a half volley, but this was around the 92nd, 93rd minute, so unfortunately too little too late. But West Ham, showed a good account of themselves. For City, this is a great win. It probably doesn't feel like it right now, but I feel like looking back, because West Ham are one of the top 4 rivals right now, it will prove quite valuable going forward. So another nice win there for City. Next fixture, we've got Arsenal versus Newcastle. So the game itself, a bit of a slow starter for me, but Arsenal were definitely worthy winners for this game. Odegaard was close to scoring from a free kick. For me, the free kick was pretty much like a standard kick. It wasn't really executed like such conviction, but it was placed in the sort of like nice area for the goalkeeper to save, because it wasn't right in the top corner. But nevertheless, you do get sometimes where the keeper might hit it into the post or parries it back into the danger area, and then you might get a player to capitalize. But in this case, that didn't happen. Shelby actually was quite close to scoring as well, hitting the crossbar from long distance. Aubameyang missed a very shocking open goal. Not been the best of form, to be fair, but that was really bad. Really, really bad. One of the standout players for me was Saka, who was very lively on the pitch, constantly attacking the fullback and causing all sorts of havoc. And he was the one to open the scoreline. For more or less the game's playing on the right, but in this occasion he was on the left side of the pitch and produced a lovely finish at the bottom of the corner. A question for Arsenal fans, actually: what position do you feel like is best suited for Saka? Because for me, I'd play him on the left wing or left mid, depending on what type of formation you're playing, because obviously it's his natural side, but I feel like he's more effective on the left, whereas when he plays on the right, he's able to cut in and shoot from distance. But I feel like you lose that split second of his natural instinct, because on the left he can do things very quickly, whereas on the right I feel like he has to think twice in terms of what move to take or to do next before he actually executes it. So interesting to see what you Arsenal fans think regarding Saka. But for me, a fantastic talent and can play in numerous positions. So it's great for Arteta in terms of flexibility and rotating players in different positions. But for me, the goal of the game certainly came from Martinelli, who got the pass from Tomiyasu, who for me was fantastic throughout the game, really solid defensively, but also going forward did really well. And nicely chipped pass to Martinelli, who produced a first-time finish, half volley. What a goal. Fantastic goal. One of the best goals of the week, definitely. So good win for Arsenal. In terms of Newcastle, it's such a difficult one to say, because for me, things aren't improving there. Obviously, I wasn't expecting it to dramatically change so quickly, but it's not looking good so far, unfortunately. Playing 4-4-2, not the formation I would go for, but obviously that's for Eddie Howe to decide in terms of what he has available in the squad right now. But yeah, it's troubling times for Newcastle, considering the takeover and stuff. They might not have Premier League status anytime soon, so let's see how it goes for them. Obviously, one of the old boys as well, Arsenal old boys, Willock was there, but he's not having the best of season as well, unfortunately. So tough time for Newcastle. They do have some fixtures coming up, so the next game is against Norwich, so that would be a must-win game. Pretty much both teams fighting for relegation there, so if they were able to get a win, I think this would definitely boost their morale and maybe springboard them to get more points going forward. So let's see how it pans out for Newcastle and their fortunes ahead of the season. And the final fixture for match week 13 is Leicester City versus Watford. So Leicester back to their best in this game. Madison opens the scoreline. Shambolic defending from Ekong, the Watford defender there, who lets the ball bounce over his head, which is schoolboy error there. Don't ever do that as a defender. Always head the ball. Doesn't matter what position or wherever your surrounding is. And that led to Madison through on goal. Neat finish, bottom corner. So 1-0 to Leicester there. King was able to equalise from the penalty box. Vardy, who scored some great goals during this game. His first one was really good. Scoring from pretty much the outside of his foot and dinking it over the goalkeeper. So, yeah, typical Vardy finish there. And he was able to score again with a header from the corner, which wasn't an easy attempt whatsoever. Very difficult to execute, and he did it really well. So, a nice brace there for Vardy. Dennis, who's been pretty much the informed player for Watford, capitalizes from applying pressure onto Constania, who lost the ball, and he was able to go through on goal and apply the nice finish there. So, and then Lookman as well. Nearly forgot the final goal. Lookman able to score late on from close range, coming on as a sub. So, fantastic win for Leicester City. Obviously, it was the return of Claudio Ranieri at the Power Stadium. So it was nice reception for him in the beginning of the game. But it wasn't his day, and it wasn't all for his team as well. So, yeah, coming from such a great victory last year against Manchester United, probably put them back to reality with this one. So, interesting match week, lots of goals, lots of entertainment. Before I do the preview of match week 14, I would like to present my team of the week, which is something I do on every episode. So let me share my screen with you guys, and then you can see what team I have. So might not be any huge surprises there. So let's go with the goalkeeper. So Jose Sa for me had a good week, applied some great saves during their fixture, and was able to get a point for his team there. So I feel like he was probably a worthy candidate for my team of the week. De Gea as well for me was really good, made some good saves. But I've gone for Jose Sa in this one. My back four, I've gone for Target in my left back position, who scored for Villa. Probably another honourable mention would be Robertson for me, who was fantastic. Coming back from injury as well, showed some great form, and the assist was really well executed. But I've gone for Target in this one. And my two centre-back pairing is Guehi, who scored a goal for Palace late on. But for me, overall, very, very solid performer, and has been one of the stand-up performers for Crystal Palace. So fully deserves to be in this lineup here. Van Dijk slowly getting back to his best, which all of us Liverpool fans are loving right now. Manages to score a nicely executed goal as well. So had to get the big man in the team there. Tomiyasu for me was really, really solid against Newcastle, and the assist as well for Martinelli's goal definitely puts him in the right position to be in my team of the week. My midfield four, Jota for obvious reason, and star of the week as well, scoring a brace. Probably wasn't the best performer in the Liverpool team, as there were so many good stand-up performers, but I feel like he did really well and capitalized from the chances that he received in the first half, because there's been times with Jota where I feel like he takes too many chances to score the first goal. But I think in due time, with more games and more sort of experience as well, as he's still a young player, let's not forget that, he will improve that aspect of his game. So, yeah, definitely worthy player in my team there. Then you've got McGuinn, who scored a fantastic goal for his team. Another win for Steven Gerrard there. Gundogan as well captained his City side for their fixture and scored a great goal. So I've got him in my team. Sancho, this was a tough one for me because it was between Sancho and Saka, but I've just gone for Sancho, as I've been really impressed with his sort of resurgence back to playing again. So yeah, I've gone for Sancho for this one. And then my front two, Vardy scoring a brace. really helped me because I've got him in my fantasy team. So pleased to see him back on the score sheet. And Emmanuel Dennis, one of the liveliest players for Watford right now, and showed it against this fixture. Obviously losing team against Leicester City, but nevertheless did show a good account of himself. So that is my strike force right there. So speaking of fantasy football as well, I would like to announce our manager of the week. In terms of my performance, I scored 63 points, which isn't too bad. So I moved up in our FPL League. Let me just quickly check my phone. I have moved up to 22nd in the league. So I'm still climbing up there. That's not a great position for me. So I'm still trying to get up there. But the stand-up manager for our league was Rizal Eko Kuniawan, who scored 76 points. So well done to Rizal there. That's a really good result there. There wasn't that many managers that actually had close to that figure. I think 60 odd points was the average within our league there. So well done to you. Another great match week there. I'm sure you'll be updating your team tonight or tomorrow morning with the deadline coming up. So let's see how you do in the next match week coming up. And speaking of the next match week, what we can do is share some artwork to present the fixtures coming up. And then I can go through each fixture and present to you. Let me just take this off so you can see my face. Present to you the fixtures coming up, and I'll give you my predictions. So last week I did quite well with a few predictions. I think I got the Liverpool one right. I thought I was being a bit cheeky with that one. I got the Brentford one as correct as well. So not saying you should use my predictions as for any bets or anything like that, but that's for you to decide in terms of what you want to do. But let's crack on with these fixtures coming up. So the first game, Newcastle versus Norwich City. So two teams underperforming. Very hard one to call. Norwich City have been showing a bit more form since the appointment of their new manager, Dean Smith, but obviously they were able to get a win with their previous manager in Daniel Farke. So I will give this one a draw. I think it will end 1-1. The next fixture, Leeds United versus Crystal Palace. I feel like this one's got goals written all over it. Who would I favour for this game? I know Palace have just come from a loss against Villa and Leeds United as well. Came from a 0-0 draw against Brighton. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory for Crystal Palace. And the next fixture, Southampton versus Leicester City. Obviously, Southampton lost to Liverpool 4-0. Leicester City back to winning ways with a 4-2 victory over the weekend. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory for Leicester City for that fixture. Wolves versus Burnley. So let's hope this game doesn't get postponed, as there's been a number of games due to the heavy snow that took place over the weekend that were postponed. Wolves are such a tricky team to predict because sometimes they play really well, sometimes they play average, but they get the win. I think they've got good strikers in Jimenez and Huang Hee-chan as well. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Wolves, home win there. Watford versus Chelsea. So another interesting one, but I can't see anyone beating Chelsea right now. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory for Chelsea. And then you got West Ham and Brighton. So West Ham, I know they lost against Man City, have been showing some good form recently. Brighton defensively very good, but on the other end, unfortunately, aren't as clinical as they should be. So 2-0 to West Ham for that result there. And then the Merseyside derby. So this will be, obviously, it's always a fiery encounter in Goodison Park. But I feel like Everton have been in such poor form. I pray it's not one of those games where they get a point and it kind of rejuvenates their season. For me, I'm going to give another cheeky one. I'm going 4-0 again. I can't give 4-0 for Goodison Park. Do you know what? 4-0. Let's give it 4-0 to Liverpool. I might have to, I might get that one wrong there, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Aston Villa and Man City. This would be an interesting counter. As you can see, under Gerrard, Villa have changed in terms of the dynamics of their play. The midfield has a bit more presence, which is obvious. You've got Steven Gerrard teaching you what to do, as well as Gary McAllister and the coaching staff. So, but unfortunately, I think City will have too much for Villa in this game. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory for Manchester City. And the final two games, I've got Tottenham versus Brentford. Tottenham haven't been impressive for me at all. I think this will end as a draw. It'll be a 1-1 draw there. And the final match is Manchester United versus Arsenal. So, Manchester United obviously coming up with 2 wins. No, sorry, 1 win and a draw since the departure of Ole. I'm not sure if Rangnick will actually be on the touchline, as it just announced today. So it might be the following fixture. Obviously, he's not going to do any wonders in like 24 hours in terms of changing that team straight away. So I'm actually going to go for an Arsenal win. I think Arsenal will win 2-1. That would be my prediction there. But interesting games coming up, literally match week in the space of 40 hours. So excited to see how the teams perform in the next few days. And that's us for today. So thank you to everyone who tuned in. Thank you to Madison Smith for sending the comments. Always a pleasure answering your questions as always. So please don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new to our channel, and make sure to hit that notification bell. You'll be notified of any new content that I'm producing. Next episode will be this Friday, 3rd of December at 10 p.m. UK time. Normally I do episodes on a Tuesday and a Thursday, but due to the fixture list this week, I've had to change a little bit. So this will be this Friday at 10 p.m. So yeah, thank you again for tuning in. Take care of yourself, and I hope to see you this Friday. Take care.